Brother John.
Well, thank you, Kyle, man. Once again, I do really deeply want to thank you for letting me participate. I think I told you years ago when you invited me to a legacy council, and I'm like, why did you bring me? Because everybody in there, to me, was a legend, was people that I was looking up to. But, when you carry that same mindset, you got that same passion, it doesn't take much in regards to just trying to bring the people together. The one thing really I want to hit on is, society has forced us, and I know we're talking about fatherhood, but to teach our young males about fatherhood before we can get a chance to teach them about manhood. And that's always the first barrier really that's really thrown our way. But as long as we continue in regards, because I'm big on the communication and relationship thing, if we maintain communication with our partner first, to showcase, to have that being seen by our children that we're bringing up, and then to create and maintain that line of communication, that bond, that trust, that respect in regards to your kids, and then to show that, out in the community. A lot of times we're so busy, we just gonna act this way inside our own household. Be out there and be united as one in regards to being a family. I tell many guys that, their perspective of being the man in the house is the fact that they think they need to make more money than his wife. And I tell them, I say, dude, when you a man of color and you walking down the street, they see you as a man of color. They ain't trying to figure out if you making more money or if she's making more money. Their idea in regards to, I'm taking the head down, which is you. That dad that's representing, that's trusted and respected, and that family that stands behind that dad, saying that it doesn't matter if he works for the sanitation or if he doesn't have a job. That man right there will go through a brick wall for me. That's when you become the man in the house. That's when you have the respect. So stop thinking about the dollars that you make. Think about the respect that you're going to give and get in regards to being with your family and representing one strong unit, because the other communities don't believe we can do that. And it's sad that we have to wait for something to happen to show that we can be united. And before, I don't want to continue on, I want to hear some of the other brothers. So I'm still right there. But once again, dude, thank you. But yeah, communications and relationship. Whatever I build with you, I build with everybody else that you're connected with.
That's right.
We should come together.
Thank you. Dr. David Humphrey.
Yeah, I want to echo what my brother said to you. Thanks again, Calvin, for your vision, brother, for not only your vision, but your genius and your passion, your drive to center important conversations for our community, and also for all of humanity, right? These Black fathers is important not only for for Black children, but it's important for all of humanity, right? But my big sister Heather put a question in the comment section, and I just wanted to echo, the need for an important aspect or component of fatherhood is our mental health. And as Black men, James Baldwin said it best, to be Black, and I think Black and male in this country is to be in a constant state of rage, right? This reality that being in a society that does not value us, that does not value our Blackness, comes with its own psychological toll, regardless of all the other issues we got to face. The fact of being a Black man in this country comes with its own psychological weight. And as fathers, we have a responsibility to steward our job well. As Brother Mel talked about, it's a sacred responsibility to steward our children well. And part of that is tending to our mental health, because if we fail to tend to our mental health, then we run the risk burdening our children with the weight that they were not created to bear. And that is our baggage. So we need to make sure that we tend to our mental health so that we can raise children that don't have to navigate and negotiate and wrestle with the baggage we put on them, but can live life with a legacy that we've given them, which is a legacy of love, a legacy of protection, a legacy of wisdom, and also a legacy of awareness of this great ancestral cloud of witnesses that is our ancestors, that is with them, that's guiding them, that's keeping them. So that's all I wanted to say.
Well, that's pretty big, brother David, and it is important, brother Kelly.
Look, so it's not much that you can add on to when you have a group of men who are the cornerstones of buildings, their community, and are well attuned to who they are as people. As Brother Mel said, be careful what you speak to our young people, our kids, but not only our kids, because the community kids are our kids. The power of life and death is in the tongue. And I would submit that, as Brother David just shared, regarding self-care and mental health. And shout out to his sister for putting that in the box, because my whole focus is always from a holistic perspective. Because when we can't go outside, we must first go inside. And our inside is what drives our ability and how we connect and how we communicate with those who we love and those who we come in. So the great sister, Dr. Joy DeGruy, has this concept around post-traumatic slave disorder or syndrome, and how our DNA is hardwired to the trauma that we faced from 400 years ago. And what I would challenge us to do is to make sure we incline and align our young people that our history began well beyond 401 years ago, when the transatlantic slave trade brought some of us here to America, because many of our ancestors were already here. So from a fatherhood perspective, when you can glean from the likes of brothers that are on this line, but brothers from across not only this great country, but across the world, as you so target, Brother Cal, I think we are uplifted by that connection to our brothers, and it'll also help us to purge that pain and that trauma associated with mental health, because women do a phenomenal job of using the circle of womanhood to allow them to be whole, to be as powerful as they are. And when we lock arms like we are supposed to, then we transform the frequency and vibration of the entire universe. And I appreciate you for laying this foundation and platform for us to be able to share space today, Brother Kyle.
Well, thank you. Wow. The mental health aspects, like David and what Dr. Joyce and Dr. Ura Hill, who's one of our doctors, and Dr. Chandra, I want to thank them because they came on Mondays for our mental health Mondays during this Fatherhood Unity Month. We did days. We started June 1st, and we did days upon days. We are at the end of June, and we took the time with our partners, Campaign for Black Male Achievement and United Way, to put out content upon content and information about how important fathers are, about the health of fathers, about the mental health. Here are some solutions, right? We talked about everything from the beginning, the mental health, to literacy, to, relationships, how to love her better. Like this month, to me, and to be clear, we're ending it today. I'm not even going tomorrow, right? Today, because this is how powerful today has been. When we asked the question, how do we improve fatherhood? The first step for me was unity, right? Unity meaning you, me, you, me, sharing tea, water, pop, juice, food, meals, right? On the conversation that I had with the fatherhood over in Britain, my point was, what if we just shared, right? What if we just got out the way of the situation, of the isms, of the other dynamics, and we just shared? That was my point, right? How do we share? Because sharing does something to us mentally as well. When you give to someone, you feel good about it. But when it's reciprocated, you'll feel even better about it. And reciprocation elevates. See, because it's just like the wind, right? Suddenly you go from here, we're reciprocating it, right? And everything starts rising. So in reciprocation, we improve fatherhood. Then we looked at loving her better, right? Her love language, understanding those things to move away from the player mindset, right? Because that's another conditioning from which we were taught to go from this place to that place, right? It was easily manipulated, right? So that's another thing. Then we beat ourselves up. We suffocate the subconscious. We beat that up. We know that we're not being at our best. We're always fine. But who do you talk to? So I got to talk to my brothers, right? I remember years ago, I was concerned, right? I've been working with, like you, coaching, and you can see when a kid walks into the gym if they have a father or not. This comes from experience. So now here we are 30 some years later, when a child walks in to be mentored, one of the first questions I ask is, where is his father? Right? Because upon that answer, we'll get a variety of things, but I understand that the boy needs his, what did Andre say? The modeling, presence and being that model. Well, when that model can't be a model, it disrupts the reciprocation and the process. So we continued. We brought on people, persons, interviews. John Miles and I did on the 22nd. We had an epic conversation, right? Right? Some men, we're so fractured and hurt because it's a little piece in the way that prevents us from really gaining the type of access that we know our children need. So we answered, kids need both parents. And the reason why kids need both parents is so they raise and grow equally. Paul Posey put it eloquent. He said, she puts in her 50%, you put in your 50%, you get a whole glass of water. But if she just putting in her 50%, your 50% is sitting on the outside, which means sometimes it doesn't make us whole. So we have to take on the system for our participation, even for those who can't fight for themselves, because that's part of our liberation. We understand that. That's what we have to do. If you want freedom, the so-called freedom, part of your liberation is fighting for others. So fatherhood is another way to liberate men into freedom, because the child support system might have them, but then they might have a bad mate, or then they might have been abusive, right? So we got to look at all of these things, because no one is perfect, and we understand that men make mistakes as well as women. And the mental health piece is just so important, because we are fractured. I share this with you. We were at a town hall, educational town hall at the Charles H. Wright. I took one of my father's mentors, Chris Davis. We were sitting there. To me, this was a problem. But Eric Gordon, I forget his first, I think it's Eric Gordon. Gordon was the lead MC, right? So y'all know this brother Gordon. He, always on TV, right? Used to be on 56, do all these interviews. He asked the audience for solutions. 10 times he had to stop to say, we understand what we've been through. We're just trying to get you, right, to give us some solutions. 80% of the people that came to the mic cited slavery, right? Not realizing during this time, it was a snake undergird to distract us, to prevent us from voting, to make sure that we was at odds with the other cultures. So the Russians threw up more racism onto the internet because they knew that where we are was the internet, right? Then we decided not to vote. They got this guy in office. See? And so in that process, what I'm saying is, if we was cultivating the education, if we were cultivating the message, not from that pain, but from that leadership, from that council of men, the wise council, we would have been able to walk to that microphone and give solutions. When you don't have wise counsel, everything is possible. Take you to another story, then I'm gonna end. I was at the university, Texas Southern University. We were having this discussion on racism. In comes the student body. Dr. Hill gave me this opportunity. We're gonna have this discussion around racism. And I'm sitting on the panel, and next to me, David, is 2 doctors and another brother with his master's. And we're sitting there and we're having this conversation. And Texas Southern University is diversified. Our children want to hear a solution, right? Because they're hearing consistently what we've been through. They want to hear a solution. And when these men got finished, I simply asked them, what is black? Because we're so diversified from the beginning, Brother Kelly. What is black? Who determines? We come from 1,000 tribes. So it's black is such a diverse, demonstrative, leading process that we have to understand that David comes with a piece, Kelly comes with a piece, John comes with a piece, Melvin comes with a piece, Calvin comes with, we are the tribe. That's what fatherhood is. That's what we have to see. We are the tribal leaders. We are the voice of wisdom. The Bible, right, quotes the last passage, right? What's that scripture, Mel? It says, turning the hearts of to the fathers, turning the hearts of the children to the father, and turning the hearts of the father to the children's. Malachi 4 and 6. It's the last before the New Testament. How powerful was that message before you even rolled into the New Testament? You were told that this was our responsibility. So now here we are. Here we are as men. Here we are as fathers. What do? Well, we just discussed it. Now we're going to put our hands to the plow. And let's do it, right? 30 days. There were so many other things that we could have did this month. Well, it's day 29. I went 29 days, no meat, and focused on this Fatherhood Unity Month. I cannot tell you how proud man, I cannot express to you how proud I am of myself. Because I stuck to the message. kids need both parents, and it's up to us to make that happen.